Fallout Season 2, Episode 6 doesn't just introduce another monster of the Wasteland, it quietly detonates one of the most important revelations the series has been building toward since Season 1. Because this episode doesn't just show us a super mutant, it gives the super mutants a voice, a leader, and possibly a future villain who could reshape the entire balance of power in the Wasteland. And the most shocking part, that super mutant is played by Ron Perlman, a casting choice that feels deliberate, symbolic, and deeply connected to Fallout's legacy.
If you won't join our kind, then you can't know where we live.
Today we're breaking down who plays the super mutant, why Ron Perlman's casting matters, what this character really wants from the Ghoul, and the hidden war Fallout Season 2 is secretly setting up, one that may not even fully explode until Season 3. Let's get into it. The moment Fallout Season 2 changes direction. Episode 6 opens in the aftermath of betrayal. Lucy punches the Ghoul out of a window using a powered glove, a brutal moment that leaves him impaled on a rusted metal pole, barely alive. It's one of the most visually painful scenes the show has delivered so far. And it's important that the Ghoul survives just long enough for something else to find him, because Fallout doesn't let him die alone. Instead, a massive shadow looms over him. A hulking figure snaps the pole like it's nothing, lifts the Ghoul's broken body, and drags him away, not as a prisoner, but as something closer to a potential ally. This moment is critical. Fallout could have introduced super mutants as mindless brutes. Instead, it introduces them as thinkers, believers, and strategists. And that's where Ron Perlman comes in. Yes, Ron Perlman really is the super mutant. Despite the heavy CGI and altered voice, the end credits confirm it. Ron Perlman plays the super mutant who saves the Ghoul in Fallout Season 2, Episode 6. This isn't just stunt casting. Ron Perlman is one of the most iconic monster actors in Hollywood history. Hellboy, Sons of Anarchy, Blade 2, Pacific Rim, characters who are physically intimidating but emotionally complex. And Fallout knows exactly what it's doing here. Perlman's voice alone carries authority. It carries history. It carries myth.
There's a war coming, and we need you healthy.
When this super mutant speaks, he doesn't sound like a creature. He sounds like someone who's been watching the Wasteland evolve and planning his next move. Why Ron Perlman's casting is more than a cameo. Here's the key detail most viewers might miss. Ron Perlman famously narrated the Fallout video games with the line, "That alone makes his presence in the show feel almost prophetic." This super mutant isn't just another enemy. He represents Fallout's philosophy incarnate: survival through evolution, power through adaptation, and war as an inevitable cycle. Casting Perlman here is Fallout telling the audience, pay attention, this character matters, and judging by how Episode 6 treats him, he's not a one-episode appearance. He's a seed being planted.
I've been Wasteland for 200 years.
The super mutant's speech and what it really means. Inside his lair, the super mutant doesn't threaten the Ghoul. He doesn't torture him. He talks to him. That alone flips expectations. He speaks about a shared enemy. He speaks about retribution. He speaks about joining forces, not as master and servant, but as equals who have both been discarded by the old world. This is crucial. The super mutant sees the Ghoul not as prey, but as a symbol, someone who survived the bombs, the experiments, the decay of civilization. In other words, someone who endured. And endurance in Fallout is power. The FEV connection changes everything. This conversation directly ties back to the Forced Evolutionary Virus documents that Norm MacLean discovered earlier in the season. Episode 6 confirms what many fans suspected. The super mutants and even Deathclaws were created by the Enclave using FEV. This matters because it reframes the super mutants entirely. They are not random mutations. They are weapons that outlived their creators, and now they know it. The super mutant speaks like someone who understands his origin and has forgiven himself for it. That's terrifying. What the super mutant actually wants from the Ghoul. On the surface, the offer is simple. Join us. Fight with us. Help us prepare for what's coming. But underneath that, the super mutant wants legitimacy. The super mutants are powerful, but they lack one thing: connection to the human world that still exists. The Ghoul bridges that gap. He moves between factions. He understands vault politics, surface survival, and pre-war history. He's a living artifact. By recruiting the Ghoul, the super mutants aren't just gaining a fighter, they're gaining access.
My name is Super.
Why the Ghoul refuses, and why that matters. The Ghoul doesn't hesitate, he refuses, and immediately the super mutant turns cold. If you won't join us, he says, you can't know where we live. This line is massive. It confirms the super mutants are organized, territorial, secretive, preparing for something big. They're not wandering monsters, they're a hidden faction. And the fact that they let the Ghoul live at all suggests something even more interesting. They believe they'll win without him. The War Fallout Season 2 is quietly building toward the super. Mutant warns that a war is coming. But here's the twist. That war likely won't fully erupt in the Season 2 finale. With only 2 episodes left, Fallout seems to be setting the chessboard, not flipping it. We now have the Enclave's legacy, the rise of the super mutants, Lucy's moral fracture, the Ghoul drifting between factions, vault secrets still buried. Season 2 is the calm before the storm, and Ron Perlman's super mutant may be the general waiting for the signal. Hidden theory, the super mutants versus the Enclave remnants. Here's the deeper theory most viewers aren't talking about. The super mutants don't just want revenge, they want closure. They were created by the Enclave, discarded, and left to rot. If Enclave remnants still exist, and Fallout has heavily implied they do, then the super mutants war isn't random. It's targeted. This could become Fallout's most ideological conflict yet. Manufactured monsters versus manufactured perfection. Forced evolution versus controlled survival. And the Ghoul? He's caught in the middle. Why this character almost guarantees a Season 3 arc. You don't cast Ron Perlman for one episode, a background role, a disposable villain. This super mutant is being positioned as a leader, a prophet, or possibly a tragic antagonist. Someone who believes they are saving the future by burning the past. And that belief is dangerous. Final thoughts. Fallout just changed the game. Fallout Season 2 Episode 6 doesn't just introduce super mutants, it redefines them. By giving them intelligence, ideology, and a voice, especially one as iconic as Ron Perlman's, Fallout elevates them from monsters to players. Once monsters start making plans, the Wasteland is never the same. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your theory below. Do you think the Ghoul will eventually join the super mutants, or will he be the one who helps destroy them? Because in Fallout, war never changes.